Try this again and have a little selection of different knives to try it with.
Joe's entire game was maximize profits and minimize risk. It's not that he didn't use violence because he cared about potential victims or shielding the public. He just didn't want the cops to breathe down his neck.
This is not going to be sharp enough, I bet. Try.
He's the source of practically the whole city's drug supply. Imagine how many lives have been destroyed to fill Joe's substantial
Oh,
sure, if he wasn't
that worked really well.
And
You're getting good at this.
definitely a downside better than the lives of Avon and
Okay.
But that's beside the point.
Let's
It
do
is Joe's supply and
another
city
shot.
reason. I find it interesting that guys like Joe and Avon are the
just a
antagonists
slash.
early season. The drug kingpins who the cops try to go off. But in later seasons, when Marlon arrives, all of a sudden, fans start considering guys like Avon saints because, for example,
Let's try the other side of the blade.
And yes, Avon is
that chopped through. Very nice.
But one of the byproducts of the later generations coming along and being more evil than villainous is that we can end up whitewashing the crimes of
Could
early
use
characters. For
a
example,
little
how many actors
slice.
believe
Well,
that it was Avon's
take that as a little snack.
only ones going branded to be state public until horrific to send a message. Many white fans associate
That was
that
good
with
enough.
shooting up when it's Avon gave order. Similarly, Joe comes off as a force to be reckoned with in earlier seasons. It's not often Marlo comes along and starts
like that, but
like a victim.
let's see how it's like a little bigger. Try and chop off the stem, I guess. Yeah, I hit it. No chop though.
In season 4 and 5, Joe is all of a sudden the grandfather figure who wants peace for all.
That was pretty good. Where's the?
And he's also outwitting, despite being such a calculating and sharp man. The old man was slipping, as Alonso says, for young Buffalo. I think there's two ways of looking at this. Aside from the obvious observation that the writers made,
That is really good at it.
story fully mapped out in the beginning, and probably decided to do more with it as the seasons went on. It could be that Joe was hardcore in the old days. He was absolutely not hesitant to get his hands there to reach the top. But he knew that dropping bodies was bad business, so once he got to where he was, he started to slow down with violence. And as he did so, and as he began to age, he started to mellow. And that ferocious sharpness that a mob boss must have started to leave him, allowing him to be outsmarted by the likes of his nephew, who he couldn't have dreamed would betray him like he did.
Dose.
Let's not forget, still Charles floated the idea of Cheese betraying Joe. But Joe was a sentimental motherfucker who wouldn't put cap in Cheese's ass until he was absolutely sure. But by then, it was too late. Another way of looking at Joe's character is that he was always soft in thinking, and he only put up a hard front. The threats against online hate, for example, might be things he often says, but maybe he never really went that far, being a businessman at heart, not a gangster. I think back to his first appearance at the ball game, wearing a three-piece suit and clipboard from basketball.
Oh, I did get it. I didn't even feel it.
Joe replies, look the part, be the part, motherfucker. Perhaps we can take this as symbolism regarding Joe, that he plays the part, he plays the heart man, the stone cold gangster. Really, he's putting on an act. He doesn't have it in him to go to the length of
That one's pretty good. Let me clean off my hand.
take accents and go is another testament to this. All he has to do is look the part. But true animals,
Okay.
God can see him for what he is.
This one's kind of fun. Wonder if I could flick out and cut at the same time, or maybe pop that out through it.
The desire for a sign to pass something on.
Good framing.
Tapped into that weakness and gave Joe an opportunity to make one of the biggest talent
Fill it up a little bit.
To be fair to Joe,
I want to show the chop as best as possible.
as a violent man, choosing not to engage with his own directly, pushing the
Not
idea of
quite all the way
cold
through.
seizing one opportunity to put diplomacy with the Barksdale's needing strong product. But anyway, going back to the main topic, this simply trickster nature of Joe isn't necessarily a positive thing, one where he's avoiding violence. In many ways, he's still doing it, he's just not getting his own hands dirty. Like when
Kinda
he has
crazy,
straight
you don't even
set
feel
forward
it.
on moves on. That's still violence Joe is involved in, but at some distance he's great for himself. There's always a level of plausible deniability with Joe. But when the cobwebs are removed, he's usually in thick with someone. Maybe not lighting the match, but definitely providing.
Close with banana
He
juice
turns
in there.
anyone on anyone so long as he makes a profit along the way. He'd shake a man's hand with his right and perhaps pocket the dude's jacket with his left. Joe's sinister nature goes even deeper. The way he dealt with old-faced Andre was pure evil, one of the most sickening actions committed in the show. Andre comes to him looking for a friend to help him in his time of need, and after robbing him blind from his store and supposedly making a deal, Joe delivers him straight back to Marlon. Even everyone's favorite tenant, Slim Charles, is a black mafia. being the one who delivers on your back. Where is Joe's supposed honor here? He saw an opportunity to make a good mark, swallowed up a guy's school, and cozied up to Marla to get him on the side of the collar. If word got out that Joe did what he did, it would surely kill his credibility. As brother tells anyone, business is really one now. But what you hear is your word and your reputation. I've spoken about this scene in more detail in the previous video. But Andre didn't even do anything wrong. He was simply born.
Let's try the Nkosi
The reality is, Joe has no honor where it counts. A born schemer, he plays all sides against each other. His mischievous nature known by all by the end of the show, all unlimited. And is precisely the reason why I refuse to stay, saying he'd got to mischief in no time. Even when he gets caught out and dropped by Omar, he tells the co-op almost sold the boat back for 30 on the dollar instead of 20 on the dollar. Joe just can't help himself with the hustle. And everything this man does could have another intention. You just never know with Joe whether he's being sincere or not. Like the co-op, sure, it's a great invention, but it still serves him more than anyone else, as he supplies the dough.
That didn't work.
Luciano creating the commission, similar organization to co-op, diplomacy and share alike, and he secretly had majority control over it. Joe approaches Spring and offers him a helping hand with the good dough, but this could also be him gutting Boxfish from the inside, nullifying them as a competitor. He puts it upon himself to stabilize Marlon, but obviously putting Marlon on a leash allows him to use the word
That didn't work.
like the New York police.
I wonder if it needs. Oh, it's just the stem is kind of hard. That's why.
He empowered Marlon, the result of which screwed up the whole co-op and Marlon puts the price of the paper and he becomes a dictator. That wouldn't have been possible without Joe's school. There's also something else that I don't think a lot of people caught. In the meeting with Sergey, Joe says, "Did you talk to your man about that other thing? I can get behind that business in a great way." It is possible that Joe here is talking about getting involved in the trafficking of the women. What else? He's got to connect. This is further proven by the season-ending montage, which shows Joe overlooking a cargo that is offloading his truck, but also some of the women. Sure, I guess you could say that the Greeks simply put a lot of goods into the same truck, but come on. Joe's life to Boris, this scene in the montage, it adds up. Joe was part of the trafficking ring, and this is the lowest of the low. Drugs is one thing. Don't need to have autonomy. Killing even, it's all part of the game. But trafficking women who are forced into prostitution, who are duped into thinking they'll have a better life, who are sometimes killed before they get to the boat. For Joe to be a part of that, one thing
Real mess.
is not a
Peeled a little harder than the head.
Joe's a tragic character, but there's a tendency to romanticize him and Abel as being some part of the old guard who held on tradition, and that these traits set them apart from the likes of Marlon. But in reality, Joe is already established by the time we meet him, and he's at a point where he values stability and minimizing violence to make convenient. We see him towards the end of his career, after he's already consolidated a lot of power. So he doesn't need to be as cutthroat as Marlon. But I wonder how many old-faced Andres disappeared while Joe was coming up. How convenient that Joe is all about maximizing territory, but that's the one thing he lacks. So what do you make of Proposition Joe? Do you find these arguments convincing? Are you taken in by Joe's charisma? Leave a comment or two down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.
No. Close to sharp enough, but doesn't quite get it.
One of these men is Eastside Proposition Joe, a drug kingpin who's been in the game for years, building a respectable reputation for himself. A co-founder of the New Day Co-op, an alliance between rival drug dealers for those who come to non-violent solutions to their business. Joe is cunning, business-oriented, and he supplies much of Baltimore's heroin through his connection to the elusive Greeks. Joe's big personality, charisma, and preference for peaceful solutions to violence makes him a likable character in and amongst the numerous street characters of the wild. And his death at the hands of Marlon in season 5 is all the more painful, given he treated Marlon like a son, civilizing him, mentoring him, and showing him how to make money while staying off the cops' radar. Joe took one for the team, in a sense, attempting to bring the violent and unstable Marlon onto the side of the co-op, and he did this by showing him the ropes and making things easier for him, so things would be easier for the co-op. Marlon only saw Joe as just a part of the ladder he needed to climb to get to the top and crown himself the king of the streets. And once he got the connection with the Greeks, he had no reason to keep Joe around and had him killed. Why the cautious Greeks would choose someone like Marlon over Joe is something I already discussed in another video, so check it out and subscribe to the channel for more videos on the wire. What I'm concerned with today is Melvin Wagstaff, aka Cheese, the burdensome nephew of Joe. Cheese works for Hot Joe, and he has his moments here and there throughout the wild, like when he tortures Ziggy's car in season 2, or when he gets interrogated by the cops who think he's in a murder when actually he's dog died. Cheese is actually a pretty funny character, I think. He has some great lines, where he mixes eloquence with street slang, like saying shit was unseen, or some shameless shit. No doubt he picked up some words from his uncle. If only he picked up his ethics and family values from his uncle too, as what Cheese is most famous for is selling out his own uncle to Marlon, and then working for Marlon.
This one might be the easiest because it's nice and sharp and has a good blade interface with it.
Is when Sir Charles puts a bullet in Cheese's head for Joe. So why did Cheese betray his uncle? He had it good. He was in Joe's inner circle and rising in prominence under his uncle's
Little tiny.
Of course, it doesn't have to be a specific reason. This is an unforgiving world these characters live in, where people are being betrayed all the time. But just like Carla's betrayal of Tony in Sopranos, which I'll detail in the second video, I think there are subtle details and clues that paint a bigger picture. Ostensibly, Cheese is a weasel, a snake. He is just an awesome. And Marlon paid good money to get the job in Joe. Not to mention Cheese would have inherited much of what Joe had in terms of money and property. And really, to close the argument here, he betrayed Joe because he's not a very nice guy and he's in it for himself. He even has a son in the show who he never acknowledged. Check out my video on Brandy Wagstaff for more details. And he sold out Joe for his own greed, power, and blind ambition. You could make the argument that Joe himself was pretty snake-like. However, Joe had his qualities. He was loyal to his family and his neighborhood. He was a born hustler who knew where he came from and had, for example, reverence for his grandfather, who was the first black man to own a house in Jackson Square. As he says, that means something.
Nope.
Cheese has none of these qualities. Joe feels like the kind of drug dealer that started the game, who perhaps went into that kind of life because the doors were closed in the legitimate world, full of racism and systemic discrimination. He was a dealer, a killer, but he had a code. He held onto his old school values and built things that actually benefited, like the New Day code. Cheese, on the other hand, benefits no one but himself, and thus it's easy to see why he's hated for selling out Joe, especially seeing as though, ironically, Joe protected Cheese from Marlon when all wanted the stash. Plus, it's one thing to play the game and get ahead,
Not really.
it's another to betray the family. Cheese would be dead without his uncle's protection. Like Ziggy, whose car he burned, he's immature, spoiled, and would be nowhere without his uncle. Marlon had promised him a higher position under him, and given Cheese's short-sightedness, he accepted, not realizing that if Joe died soon, he might be next in line to replace Joe as a kingpin of the East Side, instead of being just another one of Marlo's goons. Interestingly, Cheese going over to Marlo's side actually foreshadowed in the scene where he meets Marlo's crew, comments on their coldness, and then says, "Where did Cheese sign up?" Anyway, on to these subtle details. The one hints to us that, as well as all the obvious reasons for betraying Joe, money and power, Cheese was becoming increasingly unsatisfied with Joe's leadership. And
Finito.
he saw him as being weak
Bad
and
finish.
the game and was a little more fierce. An early example is Joe taking Nick's side when Cheese burns Ziggy's car, or at least that's how Cheese would have seen the issue. But he didn't have time for